So today is Black Friday, and around the world everyone gives us their great news on Black Friday. What deals do we have coming up from BSB in 2018?
Well, for 2018, we're going to do a bit of a 2-for-1 offer. The Dickies British Supersport Championship had some fleeting appearances from a prototype bike ridden by Alistair Seeley this year, and before that he was doing some practice sessions, but it's given us enough confidence now to launch full-time the British GP2 Championship. Nice new logo to my left here. And that's going to form part of our middleweight class for next year. So it's going to be British Supersport and British GP2 combined.
And what has brought about the need for this?
Well, really, we've been worried for some time that the manufacturers have moved away from producing 600cc sports bikes. Really now it's only Yamaha, MV Agusta and some Kawasaki's left. And for a class that's production based, if the manufacturers stop making motorbikes, then it's going to dry the class up. So we've got to find a new solution, and that's essentially to find people who will build racing bikes.
And can you explain the technical points?
Well, we've seen this year the Spirit bike that was a racing chassis with a standard engine, and that has proved itself to be very equitable with the Supersport technical platform, which is essentially standard chassis frames but with a higher level of tuning. And so that give and take on both sides, standard chassis and a Supersport engine against a racing chassis and a standard engine, that balance actually makes it all work quite nicely together. The interesting thing is going to be for riders though, because having an adjustable chassis, that takes them into the sphere of Grand Prix and prototype racing, where feel and technical setup on the chassis side is a massive boost for rider development.
And what teams and riders do you see this appealing to?
I think we've got a level of Moto 3 rider that is used to prototype machinery, and the teams in that championship are used to buying hand-me-down Grand Prix machinery, and after that everyone goes into a bit of a production bike wilderness. So for teams that are used to buying prototype machinery and riders that have had their first taste of prototype machinery, they can now step up. What we have identified, obviously, it's too much of a leap to go from a Moto 3 bike onto 1000cc, so we've got to keep this middleweight class, this 600cc class, and by having a prototype element to it, that will appeal, we think, to riders that are on a prototype career base.
And what's the longer term plan?
Well, you know, we aren't going to see, I guess, any more 600 road bikes being built in the sports sector to what we've currently got now. So we do see an emerging or a re-emergence of British engineering companies like Harris Performance and people like that were very successful in producing racing hardware. If we can secure a long-term deal on the engine, then we think we've got a very sustainable class that will be relevant to what's happening in the rest of the world. So I think the future is pretty bright for the prototype 600 class, and we're going to be watching it with great interest in 2018 and beyond.